Oh, man.
Cut the music. There's
Man,
no
oh,
music to cut, but cut it anyway.
yeah, I
Just cut
know,
it.
I know. It almost
Just
feels like
cut
we
it.
need, like, a sad version of the
Oh,
intro when we lose, where we're all just
just
we're all
Yeah, honestly, when it
complaining.
started, it was like this is too much right now. Way too much.
What,
Like we're
that
looking at all these good times.
was
Like
a
this
fun
is not
game.
one of those.
That was a fun game. I don't know why the vibes are so down. That was a fun game. What else did we expect?
Well, you know
Scout
what? You
had
wouldn't have known it was
Scout.
bad. Yeah,
Scout had
yeah, you
fun.
wouldn't have known it was bad if you listened to NBC Sports Boston broadcast. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the Celtics Talk Weekly post-game show. I am your host, Rob Haytayan. Joined with me are my three co-hosts, Nick Franco, Justin Lowe, and Seamus Zarlingo. You guys know me, love them. Guys, tonight the Celtics, well, they had an absolute and utter collapse in that second half on the road against the Oklahoma City Thunder. What many are calling, myself included, a potential NBA Finals preview. Well, the Thunder, they got the better hand on the Boston Celtics today. 105-92, a low-scoring game from the two teams who are very, very efficient and effective at scoring the basketball, guys. You know, obviously, this did not go our way tonight, and there is a lot we are going to talk about with this game.
Okay.
But you know the drill, our initial thoughts, reactions, and takeaways on this loss.
It was the best first half of the season so far. I mean, all around game. The Celtics came in and they were locked in. They were dialed in. Offensively, just pounding the paint in the first half. Boston had, I believe it was up to a 13-point lead at one point in that first half. And they followed that up with their worst second half, not only of the season, maybe in franchise history, at least one of the worst second halves in franchise history, only 27 points scored. They had more turnovers than made field goals in the second half. As much as I would, you guys know me, I am very high on this Oklahoma City Thunder team. As much as I'd love to sit here for the next hour and a half and gossip about this young Oklahoma City Thunder team who's won 15 straight games, can't help but say that the Boston Celtics lost this game themselves tonight. Abysmal 9 of 45 shooting from deep tonight. Lots of turnovers, zero bench production tonight, maybe outside of Al Horford. Just an ugly, ugly, ugly second half for the Boston Celtics, resulting in a 13-point loss.
All right, this is where we tee off. This is where we just tee off. First of all, Justin, I'm so glad that you said the Boston Celtics actually lost this game, because if you watch NBC Sports Boston tonight, it felt like everybody was saying, "Oh, look at the Thunder. Look how awesome the Thunder are. Look, the Thunder won this game. They won this over the Boston Celtics. Look how great the Oklahoma City Thunder are." And yes, we got to give credit to the Oklahoma City Thunder for actually winning this game and going out there and grabbing it in the second half after the Celtics. They looked like they were going to run away with this game at one point, up 10 points at half. Looked like in the second half, all right, here we go. Can we add on to the lead? Thunder claw their way back and, of course, completely run in front of the Celtics. But we all know the Thunder are good. The Celtics know the Thunder are good. It was evident in the way the Celtics came out and played this game early. Justin, you mentioned it already that the Celtics played their best first half of the season in this game, and that's what's so frustrating about the second half is we were ready to come in here and really praise the Celtics on their performance tonight, and yet they drop just one of the most putrid, awful, horrendous, disgraceful second halves we've ever seen, or a half in general, out of this team, this particular Celtics team. But Justin, again, you said it. Maybe any Celtics team ever. 15 points in the third quarter. After that, we're sitting here going, well, it can't get any worse than this, right? Fourth quarter, we can go ahead and turn it around, right? No, 12 points in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, we give up 29. The Celtics give up 29 points in the fourth quarter. And particularly at the end of the fourth quarter, the Celtics wave the white flag on defense, giving the Oklahoma City Thunder wide open threes. And guess what? Boom. Right at one after another, in, swish, swish, swish. And that was the end of the game. The Thunder, they ran in front of the Celtics at the end of the game. And the Celtics, yes, at one point in time, it felt like it was going to be a little bit of a demoralizing stretch with the Thunder taking the lead with the Celtics. It was a 15-point turnaround at one point, a 16-point turnaround. Yet the Celtics, they were still in the game. They were still in the game. It was 5, 6 points. It was 8 points here, there. The Celtics were still in the game, yet down the stretch, white flag defense comes out. The Thunder, they run away. They have an eventual 13-point lead, their biggest lead of the game. And of course, they win by 13 points. And the Celtics, they go into halftime with 65 points on the board and come out with 92. What is going on right now with the Celtics team? I understand the last 3 games. Okay, we turned the corner. We saw the consistency out of this club. We saw the penetrating of the paint, the attacking of the paint, the attention to detail on defense. We want to give the Celtics credit for those 3 games against the Raptors, the Timberwolves, and of course the Houston Rockets the other night. However, tonight, the first half, it looked like a continuation of that. And we were going to come in here and actually talk about that. Yet in the second half, it reverts back to where we saw the Celtics in the Indiana game. And now we're looking at it going, okay, there's definitely a silver lining somewhere in here where the Celtics played well in the first half. And if they can just play that way for a full 48 minutes, they come out with a win. And ultimately, if they do play a 7-game series against the Thunder, there's going to be more games to be had. However, that second half reverts back to the conversation of the consistency surrounding this ball club. The Celtics completely went away from everything that made them successful in the first half. In the second half, the Celtics completely went away from all of it. It was, oh, we're settling for 3-pointers. Oh, we're catching off the first pass. Oh,
Right.
defensively, we're not rotating crisply. And that's not what we saw out of the Celtics in the first half whatsoever. They were penetrating the paint. It was really, again, we broke it down on postgame the other night against the Houston Rockets. That was one of their best games of just attacking the paint, setting the tone early. They did that again tonight, the Celtics did. Yet the second half, it didn't continue. And you have to give OKC some credit for coming back here. But the Celtics, they certainly shot themselves in the foot by the way they played today and tonight. And this is really just, disgusting loss. It is a disgusting loss because of how the Celtics played in the first half versus how they played in the second half. 27 points in the second half. I mean, we're just going to continuously talk about it here on this post game, but that is unacceptable. They had 30 points. The Celtics had 30 points in the second quarter alone, and they scored 27 in the second half. Come on, folks. Come on. Ridiculous.
You need to get a little bit when you're facing such a young team like the Oklahoma City Thunder. You cannot try to play the attritional game and let your foot off the gas. You need to find that cruise control state, and it seemed like they were in such a flow state. Like I said, the first half of this game was probably the most alike to the championship run we saw last season that we've seen all year this year. And we just saw them completely take their foot off the gas and try to either, I don't know what the game plan was. I think they were trying to expand the lead, which is a very challenging thing to do when you're facing Oklahoma City Thunder team who just saw their 30th win after tonight's game. And we should have been able to maintain that lead and being able to hold on in transition. The defense during the first half, the paint was looking impenetrable with the way that Kristaps, Derek White were playing. Yeah, I've been reading the scores down there, but
Yeah, that was circled for tonight.
But they were doing such a great job of maintaining the defensive edge, and you just saw the athleticism of the Oklahoma City Thunder take over the game. And obviously they were trying to match them for 3 for 3, but I think if the Celtics were just able to maintain attacking the rim, because we saw Jason Tatum out there tonight. He looked like a center compared to the Oklahoma City roster. The Oklahoma City roster is probably averaging around 6'5", and those are their power forwards. And the only person with a little bit of height and size on that roster who is on the court tonight for the Oklahoma City Thunder that they were missing, Chet Holmgren, was Isaiah Hartenstein. And they were able to take full advantage of that during the first half. They were able to, we saw Derek White get in his fade-ins, running into the paint, being able to get his looks that we have been so excited to see Derek White be able to do again. and it just faded away, and they were just chucking up shots, and that's not something you can do against a team as powerful as the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if we do run into them in a championship, which is they're one of the top contenders heading out of the West, if we make it that far, they're going to be able to do that, and they're going to be able to have that attrition because they have such fresh legs. And our bench did not help out a single bit tonight.
Right. I was waiting for that. Now, for me, you have to look at these games a little bit differently than you look at most of the other games. Now, in the grand scheme of things, there's only really going to be about 10 games throughout the course of 82 games season when you're a team like Boston, where you can pull stuff from them. They truly hold like real meaning to the course of the season. So you can't look at this game as one of 82, right? In reality, it's what it is, right? But how I look at it is, if this was game one of the NBA finals and the Celtics had lost this game, how would I feel? And to be completely honest with you, I would feel pretty good. Considering the fact that you're not going to score 27 points in a half every night. You're not going to shoot that poor from
It's tough to maintain.
It's extremely tough to maintain. Boston showed us in the first half, right? They had it until they didn't. Right now, does that excuse Boston's terrible play tonight in the second half? Absolutely not. But in terms of how I look at this in the grand scheme of, okay, a playoff system, a 7-game series, I think Boston can go into game 2 feeling, or as a fan, I'm feeling not terrible versus a 48-minute of domination, right, from Oklahoma City. Does it suck? Yes, we were playing some beautiful basketball. We were playing, some of the best basketball of the season, right, until we weren't. But, again, that's how I view that. That's how I view this game. But
Kind of trash,
I
like
mean,
the Celtics in the second half.
I said this. I was taught, during the game there in that fourth quarter, maybe a 5.5 minutes left. I said to you guys, we were down by 6. I said, with how horrendous we've been playing this second half, how are we only down 2 possessions? Defense tonight. Hey, if we're going to sit here and take anything away from this game, I didn't have much issue with the defense tonight. Offensively, second half, I was not happy with it's. And again, I'm so big on hey, listen, I don't care if you shoot 27 threes, but how are you going to shoot them? And how are you going to generate them? In the first half, the threes weren't falling, but they were generating those threes. Why? Because they were getting into the paint. And I know that we have a few shot charts that we'll pull up later to compare, the first half and the second half. But second half, turnovers absolutely killed us. I do give a little credit to the Oklahoma City Thunder. One of the league's best defenses, yes, but at the same time, these guys, the Boston Celtics, with their experience, their championship experience and pedigree, they should know better than this. There's no world in which, and I don't care if you're playing the best team or you're playing the worst team, whether it's the Thunder or the Pelicans, there's no world in which in one single half you should have more turnovers than made field goals. That is unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable.
I do think, though, when you're looking at this, right, I do think that where Boston has stood in December is going to be easy to cloud your judgment in terms of what this means, right? So I agree with you, right? The Celtics were putrid in that second half. I mean, putrid. I mean, a team that is offensively dominant and has so many ways of attacking. They scored 27. I mean, we're going to be a broken record on this 27 points. Yeah. 27 second half points, right? That is terrible. I 100% agree. But say Boston didn't have that December, right? And I mean, mind you, they were 8-6 in that December. So say if they were 10-4 or 11-3, you're sitting here thinking, okay, well, the OKC is the best team out west. They're at home. This is probably a game they're going to win, right? Like that. That's your mindset going into this game, right? That, okay, Oklahoma probably gets you at their place. But I think how putrid they were in that second half, you can't pull that from this game anymore.
It's a shame.
It's just going through the second half numbers. It's actually comical. 8 of 40 from the floor. 8 of 40. 3 of 24 from 3. That's 12%. That's 12.5% from 3-point land in the second half. Turnovers. We already mentioned this. 10 turnovers. And we've been talking about assist to turnover ratio as of late. 3 assists in the second half. 3 assists. 3 assists in the second half to 10 turnovers. And also, I'll mention this. The Celtics at halftime were leading the paint battle 34-20. All right. And that's really what we were looking at in the first half, going, look, the Celtics are getting downhill, getting to the paint. Yes, they're not making their threes, but they're creating points in the paint and they're creating good quality looks from the perimeter. They led 34-20 in points in the paint in the first half. For the game, however, they lose the points in the paint battle 42-40. So after scoring 34 points in the paint in the first half, the Celtics score 6 points in the paint in the second half and allow 20 points in the paint for the Oklahoma City Thunder. These numbers are absolutely comical. You can see it in the lead tracker as well, if we could put that up too, because my goodness.
Let's jump right into that. That's a great segue. So here we got a lead tracker for tonight, and it is, I mean, it is just kind of the exact opposite of what you want to see out of your basketball team. The Celtics just had everything going through really the heart, right? What you call the heart of the game, the middle part of that of this game. They started off the game poor. They grew their lead to as much as 13 points until they just went down and down and down and down until eventually the Oklahoma City Thunder snagged that lead, and they never looked back, and they put the pedal to the metal to the Boston Celtics guys.